Rightio guys, so just going to do try and do a quick video on how I edit my videos. This is mainly for my brother Marco over at Outlaw Ridge or Minnesota Outlaw Customs over in the States. So I made him up an intro the other day. See if I can find it. Yeah, I made him up an intro the other day for his channel. I'll quickly show you if you like. This is it here. So I made this up on HitFilm Express for him and sent it over to him as a file, but he's just not 100% sure on this editing stuff. Like, he does it normally on his phone and bits and pieces, but he's never really sort of done it on a PC and you know, like with editing software and stuff like on a PC. So I thought I'd do a quick video to show how I do it. So anyway, for a start off, this is the software here, HitFilm Express. So if you type that into Google or whatever search engine, it comes up with this, and it's fxhome.com, HitFilm Express. There's a pro version of this as well, but this is the sort of the Express version, which is free, and it's awesome. Like, it works great. There's quite a lot of effects on it, but there's a lot of stuff that's not on it. So you can actually buy packs to open up more if you get into editing. Bigger, better flash of things later on. So you just click on that, and then go in here and download it and follow the prompts, and obviously you got to get an account so they know that you're a registered user, and then you can buy packs later on if you wanted to get extra features and whatever. But I haven't bothered to do that yet, but I'm still early days of doing this. So anyway, what I normally do is I normally have a folder sort of dedicated just on my desktop where I can drop all my video footage off my camera or my phone or whatever, and sort of when I download that onto the computer, I just drop into a couple folders for ready to edit. So this is my stuff with my intro that I made up the other day. So I made mine before I made Arco's, and I sort of learned a little bit doing mine, and I made Arco's a bit better, but I'm also trying to get some better footage. Some bit of me actually doing work and stuff like that, so I can make a better intro later on. But Arco's is pretty awesome. I love it. I'm pretty proud of it, to be honest. Like, from the sort of just my second sort of making of an intro. But anyway, so we go down here to this yellow triangle, or orange triangle, sorry, which is HitFilm Express. So just click on that and open it up, and it'll load up like this. And you come over here to new. Just start up a new thing. This comes up, and it's your so basically you can come on here and pick your frame rate. So like if you're doing 4K footage or whatever, you can just scroll down and pick whatever you want, 4K, and I think the Pro can do 8K and all that sort of stuff too. So like you sort of 4K 100 frames per second or whatever. At the moment, I'm just using 1080 by 30 frames or 29.7, so basically 30 frames. I'd like to get a better camera where I can do 60 frames a second, or 60, or 30 or 60 K's 4K. I can do 4K on my phone, but it's a bit iffy. But I normally just have it pre-selected on 30 frames per second. And normally, I think, depending on what you're loading up, it normally reasonably close, but you can go in there and change that. So, and then it'll load up in a second. So it comes up with this. So you come over to here to import all your files. So you go into there. So you go back into that same folder. So whatever one you want to pick. No, it's not that one. So it's the so it's this one. So this is the one I want to play around with tonight. So basically you just cover all them like that with, I don't know if most people should know how to do that. just hold the button you normally click on something down and just drag it across, and it pulls all those files up. Or you can just drag them in individually if you want to. So that brings them all down into this thing. So that's the first thing I want to put in. So if you wanted to shorten this up or trim a bit out, you would do that over here. So you'd click, like you start your film, and then if you click on this bit, it chops the front bit off, and if you click over here, it chops the back bit off or whatever, and then you can pause it and you can drop this section in, but I don't want to do that, so I'll just click back over here, drag it back over here, click on that, and then drag it to the end. I'm going to click on the ending, so then I'll get the full footage again, and then you click this one here, which drops the file in down here. So that's your video and that's your sound. Obviously audio, sound, so you can actually put several layers of stuff in, and this is your master volume. So and then I can go to the next piece of footage I want to put on. So you can actually sit here and go through it and listen to whatever, and so you can come in here. So I'm just going to drop this in just for purely, so that shows how long it is. So if you find that's a little bit quiet, you can actually come down to here and you can just click on it and drag it up, and it'll so basically it'll show you when you're on it. You just click on it and you can drag it up and down for whatever volume you want. So if you get a piece of footage that's a bit quiet, you can lift the volume up, so when you come back along here to play that, so if I play that now, so this is your main editing screen, so where you can see where all your video joined together, and this is the pieces you're shortening up or whatever to drop in. So now I can play that, and you hear this is probably a bit louder.
So I'm back out here again.
If I pause that for a second and pull that volume down, it'll be quieter. Okay, you can't even hear me now. If I stop and drag that up as far as I can.
That's right.
So now it's way louder.
So basically what I'm...
So if you get a quiet bit, you can make it louder or quieter or whatever. But if you get something that's really loud, you can pull the volume back. So when you come along to put all your clips together, you can actually balance them out so it's not so loud. And then if you happen to find that you have to dial something down a little bit to match up with something that's a little bit quieter, then you can come along and pull the master up to make it loud, a whole lot louder. So I'll come along to this one now, and this is when I was actually bugging around with the hinges and bits and pieces. So I could see this piece here where I walk away, I can chop that off, so I might play that a little bit longer. And I can chop all that off if I want to. So I can just click on there and chop that front piece off, that line disappears. See? So really I could chop the whole lot of that front off until I go back to here, and now I'm using the tools or whatever, I can put that piece in, and I'll just run through here to see what I'm doing. That's basically what you need to do. Just if you find something you don't really need to need or want in there, you can chop that off there at the other end, so you got your start and your end, and then I can drop that in, and then I can actually come along and click on there, back on the start bit, and I can move along a little bit, and if I play it again, that blue line will grow again. Well, it won't grow, but it puts a marker in. And then I can click on the end of it again, and I can have that little bit, and I can drop that in if I want to. If I pause that, click that again, so it drops that extra little piece in. So what I'll do is I'll remove them. So if you want to remove something, so you just click on it and click up to here to remove. And same with that one, you can remove that. So now if I were to bring this bit back to the end of the last bit, so we'll go like that, and then we'll just pause it, and you can just click it back a frame or forward a frame, so you don't have any big gaps. in your footage. I'm no expert at this, but this is just what I've learnt from doing it. So that's my blank frame. So if I want to come back down to here again, where I sort of come back, so somewhere about there, I'll just play that. See, so now I'll put that in there, and I'll drag this all the way down here somewhere to the end, and I'll click my end marker, it gives me my full blue line, and I'll drop that in. And also, say if you get a piece of footage that you've mistakenly recorded in, say like all your footage is in 920 by 1080. So if you happen to have a piece of footage that's say like 720 by mistake, you change the camera setting and you haven't realised, you can actually grab it by the corner here, and you can, it actually does it. So I can shrink that down or stretch it. So I could actually stretch that way out, or I can drag it around. So like, depending on what you want to do. So if you happen to have a piece of footage that's smaller, so if you had 1080 footage here, you had a piece of 720 footage, it would be that size and it would be black around there. Or if you wanted to insert a photo and it was small, you can stretch it out back to sort of the size you want. It'll be a bit grainy, but at least it's, you know, you got the full coverage of the video. So move this around a little bit and get it right again. Back out to the original size. It's pretty close. That'll do anyway. So now I'll come down to my next one, load my next one in. So as soon as you click on those, they jump in. So play the next bit of footage. So I'm pulling the hinge off so I can poke around with my shims on here. So I'll scrub through here. Basically when you drag along, it's called scrubbing. Not that that's just what I've learned from watching other people trying to figure out how to work this little thing. So I'm just coming along here talking about that, doing that. So I'm going to keep basically all that. Like if you're sat here and did it yourself, you know, for the first few times you'd sit there and watch what you got on there, and if you go, oh no, I don't like that bit, you can chop that out and shorten it up and whatever. But I'll just drop that in. So now I've got 4 bits of footage in there. This here is just a so if you wanted to make a 2-minute video, you can have that blue line here up, or if you want a 3-minute video, so you can actually work out. So if you want to keep your video to a certain length, that's just an indicator basically, all that is. So I've got that one in now. Go down to here. I can click on this one. So yeah, I was having problems with the camera there. It kept shutting off for some reason. So yeah. So instead of me talking there, you know, I can chop that first bit out if I wanted to, or I can just leave it, depending. I'll just quickly scrub through that just to see what I was doing. Showing me put the door back on with the hinge shims back on, because I actually filmed a bit of stuff and then, yeah, I think I might have paused that because I'll, yeah, back around it, get it lined up. So yeah, I'll drop that in now. So now my video's out to, how long are we? 15 minutes. Now, I'll just drag that along. So we've got another 3 minutes of footage here, so we'll have a quick look at this. Just checking my door gaps. So, yeah. It's basically pretty simple, you know, just, it's me just talking about the gaps and how big they were and whatever. And I actually ended up with them pretty reasonable in the end. So I'll just do little bits and pieces. So I'll drop that bit of footage in. Hopefully you can still see this. So that's my last bit of footage. So we'll just quickly have a quick look at here. Just trying to remember what I actually took. Oh, that's right, I put some seam sealer around the door, door frame, and I'll actually put tape around it. And yeah, that's just after I pulled all the tape and everything off. I actually forgot to film with the tape on. So I just seam sealed all those bits and pieces up. And I'm crapping on about that. So I can just see them on there. So this was the other day. So that's pretty much it. Righty. So that's pretty much the end of all my footage in here. You know, if you wanted to do like an outro like you did the intro, you can put that at the end. But I haven't bothered doing that yet, but I may do that at some other stage. So now what do I do? Because I used to just click on the export, but I found a couple of times I end up with some of the footage didn't come through. So I just, what do you call it, left click, whatever it is. So I basically highlight that all. So I know it's all there right, and I make sure this bar here is on the end frame, and you just click export, and then I just click on the contents. So now it comes up with this, and this is the file that we've done. This is some of the other ones I've done recently. I haven't cleared this. Sometimes you end up with a whole heap, and I go through and clear them eventually. But all you do is just come down here and just click start exporting. And in this corner over here, it's got my video, and then it'll render that now and join it all together. I probably actually should have went through and just double checked all my volumes, but I can go back to it later on and just double check that. I just wanted to show you how that worked. So basically that'll come through to the end in a few minutes. It'll probably take about 20 minutes to render this footage. How long's the video? I can't remember. Yeah, the footage is like about 22 minutes, so this will take on my computer here about half an hour, depending on your computer. Like my old laptop, shit, for the film like this would take about freaking almost 2 hours. It was so slow. This is no beast of a computer, but it's a if you want to look into it, you either got Intel or AMD. They're the main like brains of a computer, if you know what I'm talking about, like the CPU. This is an AMD Ryzen. It's sort of like the one of the later generations. So well, they've just got a new generation that's just come out this year. This is the one from last year, and it's sort of the bottom of the tier, but it's still pretty strong. Like the new ones, like some of the real high end ones would render this in a couple of minutes. But that's something I might look into later on. If I get into 4K footage and stuff like that, like in big frame rates, yeah, you need heaps of power to render big videos up with that, because it just takes so much more extra grunt, because there's so much more file size in it. So anyway, so when it comes to the end, all I do is click the X, and then it'll come up to save this bit, and it'll just save it into a file. So yeah, it's pretty much it, and it's pretty much the same as what I did with the. I can show you another day how to do the what do you call it, like making intros and stuff like that. But yeah, this is basically how I do it. Like I've only been doing this for the last, I don't know, few months with this editing software, and it's good. Like I haven't really played with all the extra bits and pieces, but that's pretty much how I do it. So like we're at 8% now, so it says it's going to take about 30 minutes, but that just depends. So I normally just close that down now, and you can watch it down here. It's got a little green bar on it. So yeah, now I normally the finished footage will actually end up in here, in this file. that makes a hitfilm express file, and it's exports. It goes into the export. So this is the one that's coming in now, and it's rendering it, putting it in there. That's the one I've just put up on YouTube tonight. Was us at the beach. So normally when I've got a few in here, I'll drag and drop them into another file and get them off my main hard drive that's got a more operating system in, so it's not cluttering that up and blocking up my computer. If I go into the computer, see it's getting fairly full, but that's because I've got all this footage in here, and then I'll move it all away out of there shortly, and then that'll free it up. So yeah, the more footage you get on there, the you don't want it read, basically. So this is all my hard drives. But it doesn't take long to fill them up when you're doing rendering footage all the time and videos. So the more footage, the more bigger the drives you can got, the better. And that's why, you know, if you're going to do this all the time, I'd have a halfway decent computer with 3 or 4 big, probably 2 terabyte drives, three or 4 on them, and that'll take you a while to fill up. So that's pretty much it. Alrighty guys, cheers.